Let's go. Good afternoon and welcome to the Triathlon Devs YouTube channel. So this afternoon I have ventured out for my first open water swim of the season. I've come down to the Noka site at Hoveringham in Nottingham, which is where I normally train. It's a great little venue here, like a 500 metre loop, which is quite nice. So you're never too far away from the shore for those of you that aren't very confident with open water swimming. Water temperature is 16.3 degrees, which sounds quite nice. Normally I won't get in unless it's above 12 degrees, but 16 is still going to make me scream a little bit, particularly first time in the season. You never get away from that first time jumping in the lake in the season. It always feels absolutely freezing, whatever the water temperature is. So today is going to be my first time filming with the GoPro. So apparently these GoPros are waterproof down to 10 metres. I'm only going to get one shot of this. I'm going to find out whether this is true or not, so you might not actually get to see this film. So I think my plan today is I'm going to do one lap with the GoPro on, 500 metres. I've never swum with the GoPro on before, so I'm not really sure how it's going to affect me. So I'm just going to do one lap with it. I'm going to get out, take my GoPro off, and then I'm going to do probably another 3 laps. So I'd aim to do about 2 kilometres ideally. So just nice and steady, just get used to being open water, getting used to the cold water, getting used to sighting again. I'm not going to lie, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm trying to put it off for as long as I possibly can, but I've just got to man up and get on with it really. Let's do it. Ooh. I'll be honest, 16 degrees is colder than it really sounds. Right, moment of truth. See whether this bad boy's waterproof. Well, it's still working. Should we try it again? Well, what do you know? Seems to be. Right then. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Get on. So, open water swim, all done. Babes, how waterproof do you think the GoPro is?
According to GoPro, very.
This is not my GoPro that's recording. This is Mark's GoPro because the GoPro is not waterproof. So I put it in the water, did a little test thing with it, put it under. It was fine. So I thought, okay, did it again, submerged it for about a minute. It was absolutely fine. So I thought, cracking. So I took it for a lap swimming, got out and it was all right. And then came to it at the end of my swim and it wasn't all right. So the screen was just black, wasn't working at all. It seemed to be recording, but yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to get the SD card into the computer, but that might be the end of my GoPro. So that's a pretty disastrous swim. On the plus side, my new gorilla robe is absolutely awesome. Lovely and toasty today, getting out at 16 degrees. I could manage to get changed in it, get my swimsuit off. It was awesome in the car park. So this is the benefit. My dad bought me this after I did the road sprint triathlon and absolutely froze my arse off. Dad took pity on me and bought this. Well, actually, no, I lie. Dad, you've not actually paid me for it yet. So if you're watching this, I bought my gorilla robe. Cost me 60 quid. So if you want to give me the money, that would be awesome. But yeah, it's absolutely great, lovely and warm. Can't recommend it enough. And it's made of recycled plastic bottles. Winner. Right, I'm going to go get some tea. See you later. In terms of my swim itself, I did 500 metres, just nice and steady, to be honest, just to get used to sighting and get used to being in the cold water again. And then I did a timed 1500 metres, so 3 laps around Hoveringham. Did it in about 36 minutes, which is a bit rubbish if I'm honest, but first time out in the open water and it was pretty cold, so I can't complain too much with it. It was just about getting used to it again, getting into the cold, and then hopefully I can go next week and we can build on that and get it a bit faster. Good afternoon, welcome to the Triathlon Debs YouTube channel. Today I've had to cycle to work and back because Martin's nicked my car, but I've also had to cycle to work and back on the tank because my gear cable's not working still, so that's a bit of a pain in the arse. But it encouraged me just to have a nice gentle commute to work, which I'm really bad at doing, to be honest. Once I get on my bike I'm just like, yeah, let's go for it. So 3 mile ride home, and then this afternoon I'm going out on my long run. Hopefully, if I get my arse into gear and get out on time, I'm going to do about 10-mile run around Briley, just in time to pick Amelia up from school. Right, let's crack on with it. That's my Wednesday afternoon long run done. I've done 10 miles from my house up round Briley Park and back. Just really nice and steady, average just over 10.5 minute miles. Just trying to keep my heart rate down. I think I might have said before, I can't really run to heart rate because I do have quite a high heart rate when I run. What I generally find for me is for a long steady run I have to keep it under 170, but it generally runs between sort of 160 and 170 when I'm doing any kind of distance running, to be honest. So I managed to keep it under 170 for most of it. Probably miles 7 to 9, it was about 172. I was just struggling to keep it down. There's quite a bit of elevation in that part of it, so just wasn't able to get it quite down on the walks that I was doing. So I do the team oxygen. I was supposed to do the 9 minutes run, 1 minute walk, but what I tend to do is I do 1 mile run and then I do 1 minute walk after that. Seems to work quite nicely for me. It helps bring my heart rate down in between times, well, most of the time, apart from when it's a hilly course like it is around Briley. But yeah, it just means that you can keep going for longer, and I actually feel relatively fresh after doing that. So there is about 300 feet of ascent that I cover in that 10-mile route round Briley, which is quite good really because, as I've said before, Hokum's a really hilly course, and it's quite a lot of sort of trail type terrain, so it's good to be training on that and just getting some of those hill reps in, getting used to. I used to walk up the hills when it came to them, so I didn't put my heart rate up too high. But what I've actually found is that I'm better off running up the hills, and then at the top I do a walk at the top, so then I can get my heart rate down. Because otherwise, what I find, if I walk up the hills, I'm still working quite hard, so my heart rate doesn't come down, and then I don't ever get any reprieve from it. So that's me done for today. So I've cycled to and from work, just really nice and steady, more as a commute. Because as you can see, this is Mark's van. We've got a bit of an issue with water in our house at the minute. My GoPro doesn't like water. I'm not using my GoPro, can I point out? I'm using Mark's GoPro. It does seem to record. You can't see the screen at the back of it, so you just don't know what you're recording. And Mark's van is dead as a dodo after going through a big puddle a couple of weeks ago. So he nicked my car today to go to work, so I've had to cycle to work and back on my tank. So yeah, done my 10-mile run. I'm not going to do tri-club swim tonight. I'm just going to take it easy, try and get an early night, and then I'm going to do a hard Zwift session. Well, it probably will have to be a Zwift session because Mark's not managed to fix my bike yet. The gear cable that we've got is too short for my TT bike. So I can go on Zwift because I can just stick it in the small ring and put erg mode on, so I can still work quite hard on it. But it's not really any use being stuck in the small chain ring for a Thursday night sort of 1 hour hard ride round here. So I'm going to go get a recovery drink, do a bit of stretching, get a shower, and then I'm going to pick Amelia up from school.